$9.34. AbCellera's close on Monday, up 34.8% in a single day on a literal coin flip. Did the drug work or didn't it? Today, that coin flip is how I'm teaching you the way the options market actually prices a true biotech binary. What's up, guys? Coach B here. This is the breakdown. Today's name is AbCellera, ticker ABCL. AbCellera is the example. Okay, the mechanic works on any stock with a real scheduled make or break event. Quick reminder up front, this is education, not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything. Do your own research. Let's look at what actually happened. For most of July, AbCellera was just chopping around $5-6 a share, nothing dramatic. A low close of $5.25 back on July 27th. It climbed a little into last week, closing Friday at $6.93. Then Monday hit. AbCellera announced positive top-line results from a phase 2 study of ABCL 635, an investigational drug for hot flashes tied to menopause. It's non-hormonal, and it's aimed at a receptor called NK3R. The trial hit its main goals, a real statistically significant cut in how often and how severe the hot flashes were just 4 weeks after a single dose compared to placebo. The stock spiked as high as $10.01 intraday, more than 40% above Friday's close, before settling in at $9.34 by the bell. Close to close, that's the 34.8% I opened with. That move alone pushed the market cap up toward $3 billion, and it's why you saw price target hikes out of Stifel and Cantor Fitzgerald the same day. One more piece of context, and don't confuse it with Monday's news because it's a separate deal on a separate drug. Back on July 29th, AbCellera announced a collaboration with Vertex Pharmaceuticals on a completely different program, antibodies for autoimmune disease. Vertex is paying $28 million up front, plus milestones and royalties, and funding the research themselves. That's non-dilutive cash. AbCellera didn't issue a single new share to get it. If you watch my super micro dilution breakdown, this is the mirror image of that story. Raising new shares shrinks your slice of the pie. This is the opposite. Cash and validation coming in with the pie staying the same size. Okay, now let's get into the actual mechanic because this is the real lesson. Let's pull up the chain. September 18th expiration, 38 days out at the money strike is $9. Basically right where the stock's trading. The 9 call is bid $1.10, ask $1.20, pricing right at $1.15 with implied volatility around 83%. The 9 put is bid 80 cents, ask 90 cents, pricing right at 85 cents with implied vol around 84%. Call and put, same strike, same expiration, that's your straddle. Add those two legs together, $1.15 plus 85 cents, and you get a straddle of exactly $2. Divide that by the stock price, $2 over $9.34, and the market's pricing a move of about 21.4% over the next 38 days. Break-evens land right at $7 on the downside and $11 on the upside. Here's why a name like this is different from a normal earnings play. An earnings report lives on a continuum. A company can beat by a penny or beat huge, miss a little or miss a lot, and the stock usually reacts on a sliding scale. A clinical trial doesn't work that way. The drug hits its endpoint or it doesn't. That's it. Two outcomes. That's what makes a biotech binary the purest coin flip on the market, and it's exactly why you got a vertical jump on Monday instead of a grind. Now, here's the part that actually costs people money. Going into a dated binary like that implied vol balloons because the market has to price in a genuine coin flip size move with no idea which way it lands. The instant that data prints and the outcome's known, a huge chunk of that vol has nowhere left to be because the reason for it just disappeared. That's IV crush. You can be completely right that the drug worked and still lose money on a call you bought into that print if you paid a rich coin flip premium for it and the stock didn't move enough fast enough to outrun the vol coming out of the price. And look, ABCL still isn't boring. Even sitting on the other side of Monday's readout, that September chain is still pricing implied vol in the low 80s versus the 20s or 30s you'd see on a calm blue chip. That's the market telling you there's still real binary risk ahead somewhere, more trials, an FDA process, whatever comes next for this drug. So here's the two real numbers side by side. What already happened, 34.8% in one session, close to close. What's still priced in right now for the next 38 days, about 21.4%. Same stock, same mechanic, totally different question. One already landed, The other is just the market's price tag on how big the next move might be, not which way. Let's make it concrete with a dollar example. Buy that straddle today, one call and one put at the 9 strike, and you're paying about $2 a share, $200 total for one contract of each. For that to actually profit by September 18th, ABCL has to close outside of $7 on the downside or $11 on the upside, and it has to cover what you paid on top of that. Here's the downside. Combined, those two legs are bleeding about $2.54 a day to time decay alone. If the stock just sits still into that expiration, decay eats the entire position, no matter which way you thought it was going to break. So how would I actually think about a setup like this? If you're chasing the stock after a binary already landed, you're not betting on the coin flip anymore. You're betting on drift, and that's a completely different and honestly tougher trade than the one most people think they're making. If you're the type who wants exposure to a name like this before its next defined event, the lesson's the same either way. Check what the straddle is pricing before you ever pay for it, because that number tells you exactly how much move you need just to break even. So let's recap. 1. A clinical trial readout is bimodal, not a continuum, which is exactly why I implied vol balloons going into it. 2. Straddle mid divided by the stock price gives you the market's priced move, a magnitude, not a direction. 3. The vol crush lands the moment the binary resolves, whether you were right or wrong on the outcome. Quick reminder, this is education, not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy or sell AbCellera or anything else. Do your own research. ABCL 635 is still investigational, still in phase 2, nowhere near approved. So nothing here is a bet on the drug either. Subscribe and I'll break down the next binary the same way. Good luck in the markets, no matter what stock you're into.